and 99.5 FM, and I am Joshua Van Slykeman, and I thank you for joining us. Just before we get to the main newscast, let me turn my attention to the front page of the Kaieteur News that is titled, "We Need Greater Public Interest in ExxonMobil's Consultations." Since July 6th, ExxonMobil, in collaboration with the Environmental Protection Agency, has held a series of engagements on the $900 million US gas energy project. These meetings are being held with the sole intent of recording the recommendations of the citizenry on what it wants to see in the Environmental Impact Assessment, EIA. In other words, Guyanese will have a chance to see what question it wants ExxonMobil to answer during the preparation of that document. However, what Kaieteur News has observed since the start of these public and virtual sessions is that attendance has been disturbingly low. Guyanese, it is on this note that we at Kaieteur News and Kaieteur Radio wish to implore you to make your presence felt. Failure to participate in your numbers at these sessions leaves the floodgates open for ExxonMobil to produce a document that barely scratches the surface on the dangers of this project that can leave current and future generations indebted for decades. Equally important, fellow Guyanese, is meaningful participation. We implore you to read the project summary to better understand the risks this project poses to our marine life. It holds the potential to disseminate the fishing industry, and that is just the tip of the iceberg. We have uploaded the project summary to the Kaieteur News website for easy access. In the meantime, we will continue to play our role in educating you on what the realization of this $900 million US debt trap means for you and your children. The next scoping meeting is scheduled for today at 5:30 at the Diamond Primary School, East Bank, Demerara. Please send out in your numbers and make your recommendations. Hi there. Welcome to your main newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. These are the top stories we're tracking. Guyana's law do not permit country paying taxes for oil companies. How can sanctity of contract play a role in anything that is riddled with illegality, according to Christopher Ram? Meanwhile, top cop upset over media's question about alleged missing reward money. GGMC increasingly adopted e-services in face of COVID-19. Teenager on the run after raping girl 15, and EPA launches $936 million project to help mitigate destructive effects of gold mining. And second suspect in Roy Ross murder arrested in Mathia. Stay tuned to stay informed.
Time to get vaccinated. COVID-19 vaccination sites, Breeding Hoop Stelling, Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eligibility, 18 years and older. Persons who wish to take the vaccine will be asked to present a valid form of ID. All COVID-19 protocols must be observed. A message from the Ministry of Health.
With your Monday, July 12th main newscast, I am Joshua Van Slykeman. In the petroleum industry, there are several fiscal measures used by governments to attract investors who explore for oil in their backyard. But in searching the most suitable measures, countries ought to take into account the local factors and conditions subject to one overriding condition. They can only be granted if permitted by the tax and other laws of the country. It is on this premise that Chartered Accountant and Attorney at Law Christopher Ram explained that Guyana made a blunder when it included in the Stabroek Block Petroleum Agreement called the Pay on Behalf system. According to Ram, under such a system, the government pays the income taxes of ExxonMobil and its partners, Hess and CNOOC. The government, he explained, opted to pay these taxes out of its stake of the oil revenues received on an annual basis. Ram found that the government has to find some $5.39 billion to pay the taxes liability of two partners, CNOOC and Hess alone, for 2020. Both entities, he noted, were able to walk away as a result with a pre-tax profiting totaling $16.17 billion. It seems as if Acting Commissioner of Police Nigel Hoppy got upset yesterday over the media's question about an alleged disappearance of a reward money totaling $3 million. The assumption came after Hoppy mistakenly replied to a question posed by journalist Travis Chase in the Joint Service Press Team WhatsApp group. Chase had posed his question directly to the Director and Deputy Director of the Corporate Communication Unit of the Guyana Police Force, Mark Ramatar and Stan Gavaya, respectively. The $3 million reward that Chase was referring to was relevant information on the murder case of cousins Joel and Isaiah Henry. Hoppy, who is also a member of the WhatsApp group, responded, "Do not do any response." Hoppy deleted the message immediately after, but not before we took a screenshot of the reply. It is assumed that Hoppy did not know he was replying in the media group and might have thought he was responding directly to Ramatar or Gavaya. His response, however, was not taken lightly and was criticized in the group by other journalists, including President of the Guyana Press Association, Nazima Rakabir. The Guyana Geologies and Mines Commission reported that it has been re-evaluating its operation, especially as it relates to communication with the public. It stated that there was a review of standard operating procedures to improve standardization and equivalence of response across the mining sector. The Commission also reported adopted reporting systems using information technology solutions to improve supervision, foster accountability, and strategically deploy resources. On the matter for occupational safety and health, the agency has made more use of social media to its education and awareness program on mining safety. This was done in concert with the mining school. The GGMC said that the safety of its worker as they operate in the field is a top priority. We tell you now that a manhunt has been launched to locate a 19-year-old boy who's accused of raping a 15-year-old girl in Region 7. We learned that the alleged rape occurred sometime between June 23rd last and July 2nd. It was reported to the police that on June 23rd, the young girl was left to stay with her aunt after her mother had gone into the interior to work. On that same day, the 15-year-old reportedly ran away from her aunt's care. She was reported missing to the police, who then immediately conducted an extensive search for her whereabouts. On July 2nd, she was located and was questioned about her disappearance. According to the police, the young girl stated that she went to the suspect's residence where the incident occurred. An investigation into the process is ongoing. This is your main newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. More news after the break. Stay with us.
Guyana, please join me on the Glenn Lal Show, 99.1, 99.5 FM, Kaieteur Radio, every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, 7:20 p.m. and a rebroadcast of the next day at 11 a.m. just in case you missed that program.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. This is your main newscast. On July 1st, a project titled Strengthening the Enabling Framework for Biodiversity, Mainstreaming and Mercury Reduction in Small-Scale Gold Mining Operation was launched at the boardroom of the EPA. The $4.5 billion project, funded by the Global Environment Facility, will be implemented over the course of 7 years across 2 mining districts within Guyana, specifically in the communities of Region 8 and Region 7. The objective of the project is to strengthen the regulatory framework and institutional capacity for the management of small-scale gold mining and to promote greater adoption of environmentally responsible mining. There should be environmentally responsible mining techniques in Guyana in order to protect globally significant biodiversity, reduce mercury contamination, enhance local livelihoods and human health. The project also seeks to improve the environmental management of small-scale gold mining in Guyana, which is the largest driver of deforestation in the country, and contribute to biodiversity loss and contamination. The second suspect, who was wanted by the Guyana Police Force in relation to the murder of Roy Ross of Swan Village, Linden Suicide Highway, was arrested yesterday in Madia, Region 8. Back in May, the police had issued a wanted bulletin for Adolph Joseph, also called Black Boy, of Swan Squatting Area, after receiving information that he too was involved in the murder. His arrest was confirmed by Commander of Region 4B, Mahindra C. Narayan, yesterday. The father of 2 was murdered between April 4th and 5th last at his Swan home. In April, Principal Magistrate Judy Latchman had remanded a 23-year-old Evert Castello to prison for his killing. Truckers and the mayor of Bartica Region 7, Guilford Marsher, have noted that the Linden to Bartica Trail was left in a deplorable state for months, thereby affecting the supply of essential goods to the town and other various mining areas. The maintenance contractor for the road, which stretches some 30 kilometers from Linden Region 10 to Bartica Region 7, was awarded to Association Construction Services. ASC signed a contract this year with GGMC, which falls under the Ministry of Natural Resources. A trucker, the Bartica mayor, and a representative of Troy Resources and the Australian Mining Company have related that before the works began, the road was almost impassable. They related that it was left in a state of almost 4 months. The mayor had written to the government on behalf of his town requesting an intervention, though he did not receive a formal response. Works on the road have started, and Marshall said that he has received reports that it is in a fairly good condition again. Senior Minister in the Office of the President with responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashni Singh, says that the government's vision is to achieve a diverse and resilient economy. The minister was speaking on Saturday last at a review meeting for the projects being facilitated by the Caribbean Development Bank. The meeting, which includes newly elected CDB President Dr. Highness Jean Leon and his delegation, was hosted at the Artichoke Conference Centre. Minister Singh said that the government has constantly reiterated the importance of a robust, widely diverse economy and a particularly competitive non-oil economy. Despite the promise of prosperity, the minister said that the government is under no illusion about the vulnerabilities faced by Guyana. Stay with us right here on Kaieteur Radio. When we come back, it's time for your COVID-19 update and your page 7 of the Kaieteur News. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. Although no deaths have been reported over the past 24 hours, yesterday the Ministry of Health announced that there are 11 patients in the COVID-19 ICU. The country's COVID-19 death toll remains at 492. The ministry in its daily COVID-19 dashboard recorded 29 new COVID-19 cases, bringing the total number of confirmed cases to 20,953. The dashboard also shows that there are 84 persons in institutional isolation, 1,313 in home isolation, and no one is in institutional quarantine. To date, a total of 19,053 persons have recovered from the virus. And it is time for your page 7 of the Kaieteur News. Look at our backward and foolish political leaders. The opposition filed a no-confidence motion in Parliament against 2 government ministers. Now the government turns around and threatens to file a no-confidence motion against the opposition leader. Guyana, isn't this shameful? Exxon is ripping us off, and the PPP and the APNU AFC coalition are busy ripping each other's throat out. Are these guys for real? Surely they can't be this irresponsible and shameless. And with that, we've come to the end of your main newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Let me remind you that you can get the full details of these stories and much more by picking up a copy of the Kaieteur News at a newsstand near you, or head across to our website at kaieteurnewsonline.com. Coming up after this, it's time for a short presentation of the oil and gas sector by publisher of the Kaieteur News, Mr. Glenn Lal, followed by the National Outlook with GHK Lal.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465 or 226-8210 today.
Guys, royalty is a word that comes